Okay, guys, factoring by grouping. Now listen, there's a couple of things, and I want this doesn't have anything to do with the problem today. First thing, guys, you'll remember the very first thing that we learned about factoring was taking out a number, undistributing. That was the first kind of factoring we figured out. So we had 2x squared plus 4x, and both of those I can bring out a 2x. 2x goes into both of those terms, times x plus 2. That's the first kind of factoring we know how to do. Take out anything that's common to all of the terms. That's the first one. The second thing we did was we learned how to factor the difference of two squares, 4x squared minus 9. If it has two terms, if I'm looking at a polynomial that has two terms, I want to ask myself, is it the difference of two squares? If it is, I can factor it. If it's not, I can't. This is, so I'd get 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. That was section 5.5. Check it out. Okay? The next thing that we learned how to factor was a trinomial. X squared minus 7x plus 10. Okay? If there's nothing in front of the x squared, there's nothing there except a 1, right? I know that I'm going to have two binomials, and it's going to be x and x. These two numbers multiply to give me the last term. They add to give me the middle term. In this case, it would be minus 2, minus 7. Done. Minus 5, thank you. Minus 5. They add to give me negative 7. All right? And then the last thing that we have done so far is if we have something in front of the x squared, like this, we've got 3. Then we have to use the quadratic formula. That's what we did last night. One more thing. The last thing that we're going to do is factoring by grouping. Okay? Now, guys, the first couple of things here, this is easy. This one's easy. I'm going to tell you how to do the other ones. We'll pick them up pretty quick, but watch this. Jumbo, how many terms in A? How many terms? Jimbo? 2, right? Do they have something in common? X plus y. So I can factor that out. I can undistribute it. I can bring that quantity and put it into the front, x plus y. But x plus y times what, Benny? 5, not 5w, but 5 plus w. It's just like factoring out this one. We did this, guys. We did 2x squared plus 4x. They both have a 2x in them, so I can undistribute it. I'm going to bring the 2x up front. 2x times x gives me 2x squared, and 2x plus 2 gives me 4x. I pulled out a 2x. Well, I pulled out the x plus y from both of these, and it left me with 5 plus w. Everybody see how that's exactly the same as we were doing in the very first thing that we learned how to factor? Good. All right, so let's look at B quickly. Devin, how many terms? 2 terms. Do they have anything in common? No, that's not what's in there that's common. What is it, Curran? They both have the quantity m plus 4n. So I'm going to factor that out. And I'm going to put it up front like this. But what do I distribute it to get what I had at the beginning? Gordy? M minus 1. Done. M plus 4n times m gives me this. M plus 4n times negative 1 gives me this. Done. That's easy. Let's look at example number 2.